Hey everybody, welcome back to the Miniac, and it's another Wednesday night live stream, so let's get to it. This is a recap of the last two videos, the Friday video and the Monday video. Now, if I remember correctly, the Friday video was a blind car review. That was the one where I had no clue what car it was going to be that I was going to actually be doing the video on until I actually walked out there and found the car and filmed it. That was not staged, I can assure you of that. That was one where I actually had the sales associate wrap the key tag, so I had no clue what car it was. Walked out there, and the car in question was a Mini Cooper S convertible. Pretty fun video to do, and I decided to take it another step further in honor of hitting 5,000 subscribers, as Timothy Daniel just mentioned in there. So I did another video yesterday, filmed it yesterday, where I was literally blindfolded. In fact, when you watch that video, I will look like this. So hood on, pulled as tight as possible so I can't see anything. So there is a video coming where I am literally blindfolded doing a car review, but it's more of a, let's see how well I actually know Mini. So I had to basically figure out what the cars were by feel. So kind of an interesting video. I'm sure you're all going to get a kick out of that one. It's kind of a silly one. Monday's video, that was the one that apparently a lot of people liked it because it was the one where I tested out the Beamer Code app. Now, unfortunately, several people didn't like it. Now, let me explain a little bit about what I did there. The settings that are in the vehicle that when you code it on the Beamer Code app, the settings that are in that vehicle are settings that are already there from the factory, depending on what market that car is going to end up in. So the settings that the sales manager had asked me to install onto that vehicle were mainly the auto up when you push the key fob to roll the windows up. And the other one was, in case the car ever had to be used as a demo car again, it deactivates the horn honk when you have the key in your hand, you're outside the car while the engine's running and you lock the door so it doesn't honk at you. Those are the only two. He also said to go ahead and try out the sport mode just for kicks. So that was done. Now, some of you don't know that a lot of the stuff that was seen in that video was actually using on the Beamer Code app in question, as I'm going to show you here. There is a setting that is called demo mode. So, as some of you could possibly see here, or couldn't see here, because it's now blind, what I actually did here is a lot of the stuff I actually was using a demo mode on the phone, and I never actually coded the car. So there's some things that were done because the sales manager asked me to do it, and then there's some stuff that was done on the coding app that you thought you saw but didn't actually happen. It was all kind of a trick. Like when the car was defaulted into sport mode, I actually had someone sitting in the seat sitting outside the door next to me, so when I tilted the camera up, he reached down and pushed the sport button so that you could see that the sport was still on when the car started. So that was kind of a little trick to how to make that video work. But basically, how the video went together was the exact way that it would be done so everyone could see how the app actually works. So no Minis were harmed in the making of that video. And if you really want to, you can recode your Mini in that exact way that I demonstrated in that video. So no Minis were harmed, and nothing was violated. No rules were broken. Nothing along those lines at all. Everything was perfectly within spec, and anything that was changed was inevitably returned back to stock after the video was completed. So, like I said, but you got the idea of how the Beamer Code app works. It's pretty cool, and it currently works on 2008 to present Mini Cooper. So if you have any settings you want to change in there, if you're really good at coding even, you can go in there and you can even change the seat temperatures if you really wanted. My favorite setting, actually, that I wish I had on my car is I can go in and I can set the PSI for the tire pressure sensors in the current generation, the third gen Minis, to include tire temperature. So kind of a cool thing. So anyway, recapping done. We can talk about more of that later. I hit 5,000 subscribers last night. That is correct. I am currently at 5,009 subscribers. So that is a huge, huge jump from where I was February of last year when I had just passed 1,000 subscribers. So it is because of you all, my viewers and my subscribers, that has even happened, and I want to thank you all. I wish I had a giveaway to give to you guys, but unfortunately I don't have one that I can actually give you all right now. I'm working on it. I'm going to talk to the sales manager, see what he might have hiding around that we might be able to give away to you all. So that'd be kind of cool. As far as my Clubman is concerned, the part in question that they're looking to try to get is being shipped from Germany, and it's going to take another 2 weeks. So effectively, I've driven my Mini probably 2 weeks out of January and February. So I have been without my car for quite some time, and this Toyota Camry is driving me up the wall. So I'm going a little stir crazy not having my Mini right now. Let's get some of the bookkeeping stuff out of the way here. If you want to become a Patreon member of the channel, don't forget to check out the patreon.com/theminiac. I currently have the lowest tier set up to $2 a month. But if you really just want to, if you are interested in doing that and you want to do less than that, I've thought about possibly setting up as contributing $1 a month to the channel, just as a way of saying thank you, or just kind of just supporting the channel and everything I do, because this is not easy to do YouTube, and it's not cheap. And if I want to do more stuff to bring more content to you all, it's going to probably inevitably cost me a little bit more money. I also have, you're looking for the Miniac merch for the channel. I'm in the process of possibly updating and making some changes, but in the meantime, you head over to the Teespring store and the link in the live chat. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you this right now. If you enter the code Miniac10, you will get 10% off on your order as a thank you for all the 5,000 subscribers I have and all the viewers who've watched my channel over the last couple of years since I started it. So you'll get 10% off. If you don't remember that code, again, it's Miniac10. So, and that's 10 as in 10. So go over there, buy some cool t-shirts. There's one Mini Takes State shirt I have right now that's kind of a tongue-in-cheek joke with a Facebook group. It's I heard from Mike at Mini USA, and that was a thing because I actually chatted with Mike Payton, vice president of Mini USA, about when the route was going to be announced for Mini Takes State. So kind of a running gag, and I turned it into a t-shirt. So it's kind of funny. If you want to save 5% on your order at motoringstripes.com on grill badges, on Mini Takes States decals, stuff like that, head over there, use code Miniac. You get 5% off on your order. And also my sponsor, outmotoring.com. Head over there, use the code Miniac5, save 5% off on your order there. They also ship orders $195 and up for free. So take advantage of that. But anyway, we're going to get into the chat here. Timothy Daniel said that, by the way, I canceled my GP order. I am underwater on my 2018 JCW manual. I'm leaning towards a JCW Clubman in a year or two. I'm hoping we'll have a manual before if they discontinue the Clubman. The manual transmissions are currently in production starting this month. They'll be available at your dealerships in the next 2 months. So manual transmissions are coming back. They're going to have, I found out, it's not only going to be manuals that we're getting back. We're also getting the digital gauge cluster, which I've confirmed with the dealership, and a new thing. Instead of the 6.5-inch Mini connected screen, every single Mini is now going touchscreen. So they're not all going to have Mini connected as far as I know, but every single Mini is going touchscreen on the center screen in the 2021 models, which start production the next couple of months. So look for some new features on the 2021 Minis. Look for the new Sidewalk Edition 2021 Mini Cooper S convertible. That's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be in deep Laguna metallic, and it's going to have a pretty neat silver and black stitched roof. So I would check that out. It's going to be a neat car. Timothy, sorry to hear that you you canceled the order on your GP. I'm underwater right now on my John Cooper Works Clubman, which is why I can't get rid of it. I would love to have a manual John Cooper Works hardtop, but things aren't quite where they need to be right now for me to do that. So I'm going to stick with my car right now, and even though it's sitting in the body shop still. The Evine Java. Hi, Miniac. I have a 2020 Cooper S. What should be my ideal tire pressure? 36 PSI, if I remember correctly, but your tire pressure specs are in your door jamb on a sticker in your door jamb, so you should be able to get that information there. Dale Taylor, congratulations. Yep, thanks, Dale. Sonic Liberation, dude, what do you think Mini needs to do in order to increase sales in the U.S. market? They seem to be sliding lower in general. Is it just an SUV craze? I think it is an SUV craze. I really think that people are just being ridiculous with the SUVs. And I think at some point it's gonna come to a head. Gas prices are starting to go back up again, and if gas prices pass $4 again, I could imagine that people might be going back for the smaller cars. So that should be something to look for. I think the Mini sales are going to go up a little bit with the electric Mini. That's supposed to be something that's going to help the brand a little bit. But I think Mini needs to really work a little harder on making either the cars more affordable or more accessible, more incentives, stuff like that. Real things that are really going to draw the customers into the dealerships to buy the cars. That being said, Mini is a niche brand, and most people who buy Minis, I've been told, are usually in their mid to late 40s, and typically it's their third or fourth or fifth car in there that they own, actually, apparently. So people who tend to buy Minis, the average majority apparently, have 5 cars. Go figure. Timothy Daniel, not a manual on the JCW Clubman, though. Correct. Not a manual on the JCW Clubman. It uses an 8-speed sport automatic transmission. It also has a mechanical front limited slip differential, which is pretty cool. So, unfortunately, no. Sonic Liberation, no. Not all 8.5-inch screens. If you get the touchscreen navigation, you will get the 8.8-inch screen. But other one, which is now being launched in the electric Mini as the base screen. So I don't know what that's going to mean for all the models, if they're all going to have other features as well. But I think they might be in the process of possibly simplifying things down to make it a little bit easier, more accessible. Speaking of the simplification thing, I think they tried when they made the whole trim level thing. I think they kind of messed up. I think they went too simple by doing that, and I think it ruined a little bit of the creativity with the cars. You used to be able to kind of do all sorts of a la carte things, have some interesting specs and stuff, and I think that kind of killed sales a little bit, although it makes it a little bit easier to get what you want, or not get what you want. It makes it a little easier when it comes time to resell the car, but it doesn't make it easy when you want something specific. So that could be another reason that sales kind of have been hurting a little bit. Timothy Daniel, my feelings on poor sales. I think Mini still has a reputation for poor reliability, even though that's false for the latest generation. You're correct. That is false for the latest generation. The second generation was known for a little bit poor reliability, at least prior to 2011. That was specifically with the N14 motor, which, depending on how you worked with it, the N14 motor was an incredibly finicky motor. I had an N14 Mini Cooper S, and the only reason that car was being rebuilt was because it had a broken piston. Otherwise, everything else was fine with it, but we decided to take the engine apart, put it back together, and I ended up selling that car because I couldn't afford to have 2 Mini Coopers. So that was the reason that the N14 was gone. As far as reliability is concerned, I think the F56 generation Mini might have been released too late to help with that reputation. I think if they had released it a couple of years prior, possibly at like a 2012 or 2013, it possibly might have helped the brand's reputation a little bit. But unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. Timothy Daniel, again, in addition to what you said about the SUV craze and relatively low gas prices, the Avene Java, I think a new design, if done successfully, could boost sales. A new design would boost sales, I think, and I think because they're going to scale the car down a little bit and simplify some things, I think the next 4th generation Mini will probably be a really good one. I think it's going to sell really well. The unfortunate thing is we don't get the Mini 1 over here, which is the least expensive Mini. But I think that's largely because it probably wouldn't sell well over here because it's about 90 horsepower. And I just don't think people want that. So I don't see that happening possibly. But as far as the 4th gen is concerned, I think the 4th gen is going to be a great little car whenever it finally does get released. The Avene Java, I feel like a lot of people still think it's a feminine car. Oh, a lot of people think anything's a feminine car if you do it right. People called the Jeep Liberty was intentionally designed to be a Jeep for women, if you can believe that. The problem is that any kind of car could be considered a car for women. It really doesn't matter what car it is. Unfortunately, people like to take a slight at Mini owners and say that, oh, that's a girl's car, or that's a gay car, or whatever. And I don't see it that way. I see the Mini as being everybody's car. So, Michael Edwards, hey Michael, are they going to be international? Are they going to the International Car Show? I don't know which international car show you're necessarily speaking of. I know that Mini and BMW and I think Volvo are not going to be at the Kansas City International Auto Show, and that's largely because for the dealerships to bring cars to the auto shows, it costs them about $30,000. And if sales aren't doing as well as they'd like them to do, that's a huge allocation for a brand, for a dealership, just to go to an auto show and bring a couple of cars. So some dealerships, some states are probably not doing that. and I don't know which auto shows they're going to be at. I do know that the 2021 Mini Countryman, the facelifted one, will be at the Geneva Motor Show, which I believe is next month. So that should be pretty cool. I think it'll be a chance to finally get to see what the car is going to look like, and you can be sure I'm going to have a video on it at some point. Hillary Morrissey, congrats, Zach. Thanks, Hillary. Hope you're doing well. Hope your minis, I should say, are doing very well. Looking forward to seeing you at a mini event. Unfortunately, it's probably not going to be next week or this weekend's one because I'm not going to have my mini for another couple of weeks at this rate. Timothy Daniel, agree with you and Aveen Java. The Clubman and Countryman JCW should help because it has great power, all-wheel drive, etc. And that's correct. The JCW Countryman and Clubman are great. They have all-wheel drive, great horsepower. And the cool thing is that aside from the ones that are like really high spec, you can get a John Cooper Works Countryman or John Clubman for about $1,000. That puts it in the Golf R territory, which is actually a pretty good bargain for what you get. Sonic Liberation, I agree. Maybe a more modern interpretation of Mini for the 4th generation. From what I know about the modern Mini with the 4th generation, I think they're going to still focus a little bit on the retro styling along the front of the car, but I think the rear they're going to try to go a little bit away from the retro look they've been trying to do for a while. So we'll see what happens. The Aveen Java, I cannot wait for the 4th generation Mini, but I'm so nervous because I feel this new generation is totally going to be a make or break scenario. I can assure you it's not. I can definitely say that the 4th generation will be a fantastic car. And one of the things, as Sonic Liberation just mentioned, is the hardtop is going to have less overhang. The new way they've developed crash foam and crash plastics, they can actually make the overhangs shorter. Now, the reason the overhang was longer was because of pedestrian safety standards. And now that technology has improved, they can shorten that overhang. So we will see the front of the Mini at least, shorten back up probably to R56 standards. So it'll be a much snubbier or more snub-nosed front, I'm sure. And I think the car is going to be a fantastic car. We will probably see a departure from the traditional handbrake to a button brake like you see in the Clubman and Countryman. But as far as everything else, we're still going to see the manual transmission, and it's still going to, I think is going to be a fantastic 4th generation when they finally do come. Timothy Daniel, any idea for upcoming videos, in-depth reviews of specific features? For example, a video on everything great about the HUD, heads-up display, what it shows, what it should show in a later revision, etc. I'm working on a possibility of doing some more videos like that, some more in-depth stuff on little details and little features on the vehicles. The catch with the heads-up display is because it's a projector, it projects onto the screen, it doesn't quite pick up that well on the camera lens. So it might be a little hard to make that happen, but if I can make it happen, you can be sure I'm going to try. So I'm going to see what I can do. I'll do a little bit of experimenting with the cameras at the dealership sometime next time I'm over there so I can get an idea of how that might work and if I could actually make a video happen with that. I'm also working on a video with an Apple CarPlay. The Apple CarPlay I find a little annoying at times, so I don't like using it, but I know you guys want to see Apple CarPlay and how it works, so I'm going to actually try to make a video like that happen at some point. Good news, though, I do have footage ready for the video on the R61 Paceman, and I have a video coming out that I'm going to be working on in the R60 Countryman. And I have a video I'm filming tomorrow at a friend's house. He purchased a 2006 Mini Cooper S and R53, so we have another in-depth walk around of a R53 for another R53 buyer's guide video. So look for that in the coming months. That's going to be another good coming weeks and months, I should say, and that's going to be a good video as well. So the Paceman video was very fun filming. It was actually an interesting car to drive. My only real complaint, even though I didn't say it in the video, its doors are incredibly long. So that was to be expected given what kind of car it was. But it's going to be a good video. So that's going to be one I'm going to be putting together and releasing to you all at some point as soon as possible. And I think you're really going to like it. So what else do we got in here? Perhaps a review comparing types of leather available. That would be a very fun one, actually, Timothy. I like that one. And color, well, it's not just leather. It's colors and fabrics and things like that. It would be kind of interesting. There's an entire wall. Some of you have been to your Mini dealership. There's an entire wall where they have the color panels and they have the fabric panels and the interior panels. And it's kind of fun it's one thing to visualize it on the mini configurator. It's another thing when you can actually pull those panels off the wall, lay them out, and you can kind of like fabric swatches, basically paint swatches, fabric swatches. You can kind of lay it out on a table and really figure out exactly how that car is going to look based on all these different things. You can figure out what's going to look right, what's not going to look right. We figured out that the indigo blue Clubman interior looks terrible on some color exterior colors, but it was kind of a neat idea. So I might actually try something like that. The Aveen Jean, Zach, and everyone, how do you guys feel about the Union Jack taillights? I was mad at first because I didn't want UK flags or any country on my lights, but I've come to love them because of style factor. Interesting thing, they're not all that popular over in the UK as far as I read recently. I know a lot of people do actually like them, and I'm kind of a big fan of the Union flag taillight, and the reason I call them Union flag is because Union Jack is what's on a ship. And I've been corrected numerous times about that, so I refer to them as a Union flag now when I talk about the taillights, at least to people on YouTube, because I don't want to offend anybody, because I'm not about that. But yeah, I kind of like them. I think they're kind of interesting, and they're now spreading to the other models as well. So we're going to see them on the Countryman pretty soon as well. And we've already seen them on the Paceman, or I'm not sorry, not the Paceman. We've already seen them on the Clubman, and I think they look pretty good. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they look like on the Countryman. I think they, based on what I've seen so far, they look pretty good. Ethan F56, hey Ethan, I like the Union Jack, but been thinking about getting the gray aftermarket ones from Mini Bits. I would encourage you to do that if you really wanted to. They're pretty nice, and the sales manager at the local mini dealership has them on his car. Sonic Liberation, I wish they were a no-cost option. The Union flag taillights are standard in the U.S., but I think if I remember correctly, you don't live in the U.S. They're standard as long as you have LED headlights. Steve McCrory, watching in UK, the retro styling of the Mini front and rear retains the Mini personality. Changing that would be like giving it a Canadian tuxedo to wear in a Wall Street brokerage. I don't disagree with you on that. I think if they changed it too much, it starts to lose a little bit of its integrity and a little bit of what makes it special. I think keeping the front and rear styling a little bit closer to what it looks like, closer to resembling or paying homage. I think it's more of a paying homage to the original car than necessarily copying or duplicating. You get the idea. You don't really want to duplicate the past. You kind of want to take the essence of what that was and make it modern, make it fresh. Something that's going to appeal to a vast market. So they've been able to take the essence of that original car, the styling cues, and apply it over an entire model range to create vehicles that, in essence, look like the original cars and still have the same kind of fun, dynamic characteristics of the cars, but haven't broken away from the brand entirely to where they don't look like anything. If you go to some other auto brands, there's no real brand identity. On the other hand, if you go to BMW, they're so focused on the kidney grills, they're making them 2 feet tall, and the result is you have a buck-tooth BMW. Anyway, Sonic Liberation, I would not opt for them, okay? Steve McCrory, the Union Jack lights give it a badge of origin. Take that away and the brand would lose its identity. Congrats on the 5K. Thanks, Steve. Glad you're watching from the UK. I know it's nice to know I have a bunch of subscribers over there. In fact, the majority of my subscribers, oddly, are in the US, the UK, and Japan. But I think that's because I heard in Japan, Mini is very, very popular. So it's kind of expected to see Mini being a very popular brand over there. It's obviously a very popular brand in the UK. And despite the fact that you don't see it as often in the US with sales slowing down a little bit, it's still a very popular and very relevant brand in the U.S. market, and I think it's the only brand that still sells fun-to-drive small cars. I mean, you can buy a small car anywhere, and I'm sure in the U.K. there are tons of vehicles that would compete against the Mini Cooper. But in the U.S. we don't have that, and Timothy's from Canada, so hey, Tim. But it seems like the small car market seems to be dwindling or shrinking in the U.S. I mean, the Fiat 500 has left the market. But a lot of the other brands are keeping their small cars. The problem is their small cars can't compete with the Mini. Kia doesn't make a Kia Rio turbocharged 200 horsepower that can compete against a Cooper S. Hyundai doesn't make a car like that at least in the U.S. market. Now in the UK market, it's a different story. But the brands that we have in the U.S. don't make a small car that can compete against the Mini. Now, when you go toward Volkswagen and people try to compare the as Java said, the thing is that Mini does not really have a direct competitor. That is correct. Mini does not have a direct competitor really in the United States. Someone asked me to do a video where I would compare the Volkswagen GTI to the, John Cooper Works hardtop. And I told him or her, I said, I can't do that because they're not in the same class. The Volkswagen GTI is a compact car. The John Cooper Works hardtop is a subcompact. Now, the Volkswagen GTI I could compare to a John Cooper Works Clubman. But at that point, the John Cooper Works Clubman is now heads and tails above the GTI. And since they no longer they no longer sell the Golf R in the US, it kind of puts it in a, I don't have to do a video on this car, on these two comparisons, because the John Cooper Works Clubman is already far superior. At least here in the U.S., people know that a lot of car manufacturers tried to compete with the Mini by coming up with some box-looking vehicles, but failed terribly. I think you might be remembering Scion. Now, the funny thing about the Scion brand is the whole point of that brand was they were trying to cater to the youth market, the Gen X millennial generation, and it backfired miserably. And that was because the people that were in the baby boomer generation were looking at the Scions and comparing them to Toyotas and going like, well, why am I going to spend $30,000 on a Toyota when I can spend $15,000 on a Scion? So they bought the Scions. And that's why that's why they got rid of Scion. It didn't do what they thought it was going to do, which was to be this youth generation thing. Now, Mini has kind of hit the same scenario in the U.S. market, as the majority of people who buy Minis are in their 40s and 50s. And where over in the UK, I believe, it is far different in the complete opposite direction, because that car is a little bit more affordable over there and tends to cater to the more younger generations. But it's really kind of a mix, kind of a mess. Andoria, Arizona here. I drive a 2004 Mini Cooper S with 198,000 miles, still going strong, and he won't die, no leaks, and take as good care of it as I can. Great little car there. I'm glad to see you're still motoring on with that car, and you keep taking care of that car, it'll keep taking care of you. So I'm glad to see someone still enjoying their little Mini. The Java, Scion, Kia Soul, Honda Cube. Yeah, those are the cars that are, aside from the Kia Soul, those are no longer available. Now, what's funny, you brought up the Kia Soul. You might notice that their higher trim model, they have a contrasting roof. I've noticed the Nissan Kicks has a contrasting roof. The Toyota Camry has a contrasting roof. The Toyota Corolla hatchback has a contrasting roof. I wonder where they got it from. Steve McCrory, I'm sorry. Here in the UK, the BMW 1 Series is the closest because they're on the same base platform and carry similar electronics. That's correct. The BMW 1 Series in the UK is front-wheel drive, uses the UK L1 platform, just like the Mini Cooper hardtops do. The Mini Cooper Countryman and Clubman use the UK L2 platform, which is underpinning the BMW X2, X1, and the 2 Series Grand Coupe. Speaking of that, I did recently see a new 2 Series Grand Coupe in the US, and it is boring. Sonic Liberation, Mazda does too, I would say. Mazda's a good brand too. Their MX-5, the MX-5 Miata is a fantastic little car, and it competes against other smaller cars. It would be more, that car would be more along the lines of like with the Fiat 124, so because they're same platform. So small roadsters are a little hard to compete against the Mini. Mazda 3 is a little hard to compete against the Mini, although the Mazda 3 does offer all-wheel drive and a 6-speed manual now, so that's pretty cool. Timothy Daniel, I miss the supercharger whine of the first generation S. We all do, but some of us still get to see them every once in a while. The Java, any box-looking car that has a contrasting roof immediately points to the Mini aesthetic. Everybody knows. Yep, everybody does know, and everyone knows where those companies got the idea from. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Everyone knows that. Unfortunately, I think sometimes they take it a little too far. Hence why I think a Toyota Camry with a contrasting roof looks a bit off. But a Kia Soul with a contrasting roof seems to make sense, and it's just weird. It's weird seeing other brands that have contrasting roofs when Mini's been doing it for years. But I guess they finally figured out what Mini was doing right and tried to copy them. And they're not doing as well as I would expect. Even though the cars do very well, Mini I still think is far superior. But that I am, of course, biased. So that's my opinion. Take it or leave it. A lot of you will take it. A lot of you will leave it. But I think a lot of companies like to copy. Hillary Morrissey, the Ford Flex has the contrasting roof as well. Unfortunately, the Ford Flex, I think, was discontinued. Or should I say, fortunately, the Ford Flex was discontinued. That was an odd vehicle. That Ford Flex was an odd vehicle. Oh my God, yes, that Ford Flex literally looks like a jacked up Mini. I don't disagree with you on that. That was an odd vehicle. My brother and sister-in-law had a Lincoln MKT. Now, here's the funny thing. The MKT and the Ford Flex are the same platform. Yet the MKT costs twice as much, and the parts and service cost twice as much. I don't know why, when it's the same parts. Dale Taylor, more like a hearse. I don't disagree with you on that one. I think I've seen an MKT or a Ford Flex hearse before. They look really weird. Of course, so do Cadillac hearses. But it's pretty cool. Okay, so I've had about 16, 17 people in here for this live stream. That is awesome. That is 15 people right now. But that is fantastic. Do you guys have any questions you want to ask? Anything you want to share? Opinions on the video so far? I'm open to suggestions. Or emojis, as Dale just popped in with a laughing emoji. But I'm open to anything any questions you guys want to ask. It's been an interesting to hit 5,000 subscribers after such a short, it seemed like such a short time, but it's really been a long time. It took me a year. It took me a year to get to 1,000 subscribers. And then to suddenly hit 5,000 within the course of pretty much, let me see. Yeah, within about a year. Took me another year to get to 5,000, which is ridiculous. And according to the analytics I've been reading, I might hit 10,000 subscribers by September, which seems a little far-fetched or a little far off, but it's not. It doesn't seem like it's impossible. And of course, they're also saying 20,000 subscribers by March of next year, so that'd just be ridiculous. Sonic Liberation, I have had 2 Miatas, loved them. Basil Tiffany, I pick up my new Mini tomorrow. Congratulations on your new Mini. What did you get? What new Mini did you get? Sonic Liberation, I love the 124. Aveen Java, Zach, do you believe in window tinting on your Mini? My Mini has window tinting, and every single Mini at the dealership I frequent quite a bit has window tinting by default. So window tinting by default in the fact that when the car arrives, they send the car out and have it tinted because they're not going to sell the cars without window tinting. So they don't sell the cars without window tinting. So all of them have window tinting. I think it's a great thing. Just make sure if you're going to do window tinting, you do it legal. You do the legal tint for your area. And if you're in an area where there's no window tinting allowed in the front windows, then definitely don't put the window tinting there. But my car has 35% window tint that is legal in the state of Kansas. That is the 2 side windows and then all the rear windows. Aveen Java, congrats. Oh my God, always most exciting time picking up a new Mini. Agreed. I agree with you on that. Tiffany Daniel, another idea for a future video, all the wheel options for each model. Which one you like the best? I like the way you think. I might have to do that. It's kind of a neat idea to kind of walk around and look at the cars and see all the different specs and different upgrades and different things you can do to kind of make the car yours. Basil Tiffany, 2020 Mini Cooper Countryman SL4 Moonwalk Gray. Great choice. Very good choice. You got the 8-speed automatic in there, so you're going to love that car. What color and what interior did you pick out? Steve McCrory, Zach, you're doing something different. There isn't a specialist Mini YouTuber like you. Great channel. I appreciate your support and your enthusiasm. It's really kind of interesting. I've looked around, and the only other 2 channels that I can see that do specifically Mini content in the way that I do it are Mini USA and Mini UK. So it seems like there's very few channels that actually do, that actually do like strictly Mini in the way that I do it. You notice I don't really do any. I tried to get into like modifying and stuff like that, and it doesn't work for me because my background in my educational background is in design and architecture and art and stuff like that. So I kind of like the looks of the vehicle and how it feels and how it drives and all that fun stuff. So that's kind of where I kind of sit, and working on like building things or putting things together just kind of doesn't work for me. Timothy Daniel, Straight Pipes does a box test in their videos. Perhaps you could do something similar for Minis to see which one can hold the most boxes. We actually have a video that I'm working on with the sales manager, which is can you fit a set of wheels in the back of a convertible? And we're going to try to see if we can do that. It's kind of funny, but we'll see what happens. The box test is something I've been thinking of, but I was thinking more of a real world box test. Let me explain a little thing to you once. My Mini that I wrecked a couple of years ago. I went to IKEA to buy a chair. Now the car can hold 24.3 cubic feet of cargo space. My chair's box was 23.7. So you think that might mean it will fit. The answer to that question is no, it will not fit. So what I had to do was take the chair out of the box and then shove the chair into the back of the car, put the driver's seat into basically, as I call it, autocross mode, which is, this is normal mode right here, where you're kind of like this. The steering wheel was like right here, so I could drive home. It was the most ridiculous looking thing in the world, but that was how I got my chair home, and it was kind of weird trying to cram how big is something you can fit in the back of a Mini. It was kind of funny. But that was a long time ago, it seems. And Doria, electric Mini, will it be a big seller? Your opinion? I think it probably will be a good seller. There's already been a lot of interest in the car. Unfortunately, right now, Mini is not allowing dealerships to take in electric Minis as inventory cars, which I think is a huge mistake. You get people coming in that want to actually see the car and test drive the car, but they don't have a car to see or test drive. I think what Mini needs to do is they need to allow the dealerships to order an electric Mini to keep as an inventory vehicle and to sell. They need to allow those cars in. I mean, my local dealership, he's already creating a corner to house an electric Mini on the showroom floor. And unfortunately, Mini is not allowing the dealerships to currently take in electric Minis as inventory. And I think they need to change that. So Mini USA, hey, Mike, if you're watching, why don't you allow the dealerships to order electric Minis as inventory rather than waiting for orders? Because I can guarantee you, I've been at my local dealership several dozen times, and they had at least 5 or 6 people come in that wanted to actually look at the car and test drive one. But there isn't one there for them to look at or test drive. So showing them a Cooper or a Cooper S and saying, well, it would kind of look like this, but it would have the electric powertrain, is not going to sell the car. They want to actually see the car. They want to see what the car looks like, and they want to drive it. So you need to really look at letting the dealerships order an electric Mini as an inventory vehicle and get it out there. Get the car out there so everyone can see it. Because I guarantee you, if you do that, they might actually sell. And I think they will sell. I think they're going to be a fantastic vehicle, especially for cities. And the thing about the electric Mini is most people who buy Minis that's not their primary car. So an electric Mini with 110-mile range is not a terrible thing. And I think it will improve over the next couple of years. Let's see in here. Dale Taylor, St. Louis doesn't tint their Minis. Well, St. Louis needs to fix that. Sonic Liberation, Toyota FJ has a contrasting roof in some trims, but they don't make the FJ in the U.S. anymore. Well, they don't make it at all, as far as I know. Sonic Liberation, growth can be exponential. I agree with you on that. The channel has grown exponentially. Revenue is slowly increasing as well. I can see myself in the next couple of years running this channel as a primary job. The Avene Java. The selection of wheels on the Mini is weak. I've always only picked up the Victory Spoke in black twice in a row now. I feel like the rest of the designs are too bulky. My favorite wheels are the track spoke wheels, which are on the JCW, the cup spoke wheels, which are on the JCW. For the Cooper S's, I like the Tentacle spoke and the Cosmos spoke because they're the two that really kind of look the best, in my opinion. Oh, and of course the British spoke wheels, which I think are phenomenal, but those are 18-inch Mini Yours wheels. Ethan F56, Mini wheels are kind of heavy in my opinion, but overall I like the designs. True. Basil Tiffany, Leatherette, Carbon Black, wanted anthracite liner, but didn't have any in stock. Nothing wrong with not having the anthracite headliner, and the Leatherette's not a bad choice for the interior either. It's a standard interior, but it's very comfortable still. It's the interior that most Minis have. So not a bad choice. The Avene Java, you guys, BMW has chosen the Mini for a reason. Expect more Minis ripping your streets in the near future. I agree with you on that. In fact, here's an interesting story I learned recently. Mini is kind of a test bed for BMW, as it were. For those of you who remember the BMW i3, did you know that the BMW i3's existence came along because of the Mini E? Those 3 videos I did on the Mini Electric, the first one, that was a development car. It was a lease program development car. The development and what they learned from that car is what paved the way for the BMW i3 and the BMW i8. And it's also what paved the way for the Mini Cooper SE that we're getting now. So you can thank BMW for using Mini as a test bed on some of these new things for why these cars are coming along now. Steve McCrory, check out Petroped channel for all the modifications he did on his Roadster. He also had a long-termer JCW clubbing from Mini UK, which went back last week. Very tearful video. I've chatted with Petroped, Steve, and yeah, he really loves that. He really loves that car. I think if he had his way, he'd buy that car. But yeah, I think the JCW clubbing's phenomenal. I've chatted with him extensively. I think his Roadster is awesome. Ruby Roadster, I think it's Ruby Roadster. Yeah, it's a JCW Roadster. I love that car though. It's really cool. I've chatted with him at length on minis and stuff. I think he's the only other YouTuber I know of who has the same kind of fondness for minis that I do, but he doesn't show them as much on his channel as I do. Ethan F56, do the new minis still have the coasting feature in green mode? Let off throttle, decouples drivetrain. I don't know. I didn't even know there was a coasting feature in the green mode. I might have to check that out. We'll see. And I can't read what you posted in there, but hello. So someone else just popped in. This has been like a lot of comments. Dale popped in with Ethan F56. They still have the green feature, and I just started using it with my countrymen. It's a fun time watching the fish. Just don't hit the accelerator. Stars drop off quick like. Sonic Liberation sounds like Mini is treating the SE like a compliance vehicle. I hope not. I don't think Mini is treating I don't think BMW is treating the SE like a compliance vehicle, but I did hear rumors at one point that Mini was treating, or BMW at one point way back when treated Mini as a compliance thing with gas guzzler taxes back when they were having those issues. But now I don't think that's the same problem anymore. So yeah, I don't think they're treating it as a compliance vehicle. I think they're actually making an electric Mini. Now, the problem is it's an electric Mini. It is a gas-powered car they turned into an electric Mini. So I think that's the reason why there's a little bit of limitation as far as that car is concerned. But I think in the future with electric Minis, if they're going to do more electric cars, you can be sure they're going to definitely improve the technology as the cars get better and better. So we'll probably see a lot more electric cars, some hybrids, and the technology is going to improve. I think we're going to see a lot. But me personally, I'm going to keep driving a gas-powered Mini because I don't want to drive an electric Mini. But I am going to drive one when the car finally shows up at the dealership, and that's because I want you all to get a chance to see the car and see what it's like to drive. So anyway, at Ethan F56, I think it's Russian for hello. Oh, okay. I couldn't read. I can't read Russian, unfortunately. Sonic Liberation, I like the roulette wheels. The roulette wheels are very nice wheels. I know which ones you're talking about. I've seen them a few times on the cars. In fact, the sales manager was asking when he was speccing out a vehicle for order for the inventory. He asked what wheels would look good on a certain car, and I said, why don't you do the roulette wheels since you already have a few on the lot with them? So that's exactly what he did. Naveen Java, Zach, I think featuring people on your channel who own a Mini would be an interesting idea. If you haven't already checked it, I have a video series I called It's Mini, and it was interviews with people who own Minis, but it was more of a talking about things that they like to do aside from owning a Mini. I thought about doing some more stuff with actual people in the car, with actual people in their cars. In fact, what I'm thinking of doing is interviewing Mini owners during Mini Takes States if I can. So if you're going to be on Mini Takes States and you're going to be in Spartanburg, South Carolina, let me know, and I'll make some time while I'm there to do an interview with you in your car, and we can do an actual feature video where we can walk around your car and stuff and just have a good time with it. So we probably take at least an hour to film everything, and then I put it together as a video. But yeah, it'd be kind of fun. I think we could do that. You know the chosen ones, the few, huh? Ethan F56, Dale, yes, I use green when I want to experience more turbo lag, sometimes more fun. The feature I was asking about actually decouples the drivetrain. RPM drops to 1,000 under throttle until throttle's pressed. Interesting. Motoring File is suggesting that this generation might be the last gas-powered Minis. What do you think? Well, I know the people at Motoring File. I know the people at White Roof Radio. But I don't think that this is the last generation of gas-powered Minis. What I do think is that the fourth generation of Minis is going to be a mixture. It's going to be a mixture of gas and electric-powered Minis. So I don't see Minis going full electric in the next generation, and I would not want to see that happen. I think that might potentially cause a drop-off in people who want to own a new Mini. So I don't see that happening. I hate to disagree with Motoring File because I think they make some great articles, but I do not see gas becoming history. I see it remaining I see it remaining a powertrain. What I want to see though possibly is maybe offset some of the electric or offset some of the gas power with hybrid, maybe hybrid electric power as a way of offsetting that and possibly helping with things. That might be the easiest way to get us an all-wheel drive hardtop, which would be kind of cool. But I don't see Mini going full electric anytime soon, and I've been told that they're not going to go full electric anytime soon. They're going to have their goal, I think, of what I read is they want to have 3 different powertrains. They want to have electric, hybrid, and gasoline, or if you're in certain countries that allow diesel, still diesel. So 4 powertrains. I think they want to still do that, and I think they're going to still continue to do that. But for how long, I don't know. We do know that they extended out the F56 generation to about 2023, 2024. So we don't know what they're going to be doing anytime soon. I'm looking forward to actually seeing some test mules for the 4th generation Mini, but I don't know when that's going to happen. Anyway, what else we got in here? The Avene Java gas-powered needs to stay. I don't disagree with you on that. I think there is place for hybrid and electric, but I think gas-powered engine is still fun stuff. UK prices: Countryman from 23,390 pounds, Clubman from 21,950 pounds, 5-door from 16,895 pounds, 3-door from 16,195 pounds, and convertible from 20,085 pounds. Now, Steve, are these base Cooper prices or base Mini 1 prices that you're starting off with? Because we don't get the Mini 1 in the US. So that's a question I have. Those don't seem like terrible prices. I think if I'm correct on 16,000 pounds, I think that's I want to say that's about $18,000 US. Dale Taylor, Ethan FD6, it's still there. The tack has an arrow with a circle in the middle. If you line it up, the car will go into a coasting mode. Okay, interesting. I'm gonna have to test that out next time I drive in a Countryman or something. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Eyes itching. Weather's been kind of weird. And I still got more videos to edit after I'm done with this. At least I might edit them tonight. I might wait until tomorrow. We'll see. But anyway, it's good to chat with you all, but I'm going to probably cut this off now. We're about almost 50 minutes. This is the longest. Hold on a second, though. Sonic Liberation. So is the stock touchscreen going to stay at 6.5? Right now, the Countryman and the Clubman are the only 2 that you could get a 6.5-inch touchscreen in them. The electric Mini is now one that you can get that, and I think, what I read is the entire range is going to have a 6.5-inch touchscreen as standard. So it'll be a standard 6.5-inch touchscreen, and then the optional 8-point having a connection instability again. But it looks like cleared up. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let everyone go. This has been a fantastic evening. It's been a fantastic live chat. I love the fact that people have actually been in here and conversing with me and actually having stuff to share, and I love that. I love when I can actually sit here and actually talk to you all, and it actually keeps flowing, and there's no real dramatic or long pauses. But anyway, the Avene Java, Zach, congratulations on 5,000. Really would a milestone. That's 5,000 people. Much power and support to you and on your journey. Thank you, Avene. I appreciate it. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let you all go because I'm going to go do some work and possibly take a nap. We'll go to bed or whatever. Just take a break. I've been busy all day. But I want to thank you all for coming to the live stream. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel as I upload videos every Monday and Friday at 2 p.m. Central Time. And, of course, I have this fantastic 8 p.m. live stream that you all get to come and take a part in and really chat with me directly on it. So, as always, life is too short to drive a boring car, so drive a Mini. And you all have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are out there in the world. I will see you all in the next video, which is this Friday. And I'm going to be changing up the schedule a little bit, so I don't know what video I'm going to have on Friday. It could be the Paceman. It might be the Paceman. It could be the literal blind car review video I did, which is kind of hysterical. But who knows what it'll be. But I'm sure you're all going to love it. And here's to 5,000 subscribers. And next thing you know, we're going to be at 10,000 subscribers. So you never know what's going to happen with this channel. But I appreciate you all stopping by. And have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening. I will catch you all in the next video.